Yes, sir. Monday Night Raw in Madison Square Garden is pretty much what you would have thought it would have been. Not even gonna lie to you. If you're brand new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the love and support. Now let's go ahead and get into what happened tonight. Let's go ahead and get into what happened tonight. John Cena's last Raw. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably give it about a good 8 out of 10. Now a lot of people would probably say, well, why wouldn't you put it up higher? It should be maybe a 10 or maybe higher than that, or why if it's not lower? Well, some of my expectations are kind of like, I kind of figured this was going to happen, okay? So tonight we're going to start off with John Cena showing up the first part of the show. This show ran almost about 2.5 hours, which is about where it should. John Cena, if you checked out any of my shorts, when I came back to YouTube on the shorts, my first video was John Cena talking about what the next thing should be for his next 4 dates. His first date was obviously, and his first date obviously should have been. Okay, first date should have been. It was going to be in Boston, and I said, well, he should win the title, the IC championship. And then whatever they do in New York, and then he should fight Dom in San Diego. Because it'd be like, if he defeats Dom in Boston, Dom should beat him in San Diego. And that looks like that's what they're leaning towards, because Cena wanted a match. He didn't get it. A one-on-one match. He was ready to fight. Didn't get it. But Dom comes in and issues a challenge, but John Cena wants it now. Dom doesn't want it. Dom gets what he wants, which is in his hometown, which I had predicted. And hopefully what happens is Dom defeats John Cena, so John Cena's last opponent will not be for a title. And hopefully we'll get down to later on who I think will be John Cena's opponent. I already said this early on who John Cena's opponent should be, but we'll get down there later on. So then we have Dom with the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough showing up. And interesting enough, I kind of wanted John to maybe fight one-on-one instead of a six-man tag, but I do appreciate them having Sheamus and Rey Mysterio, 2 guys that have been with John Cena during his time in his career. So it was a good moment. Nothing too crazy on the match. The moment they did have was John Cena, Sheamus, and Rey Mysterio towards the end. All did a 5-knuckle shuffle. Rey Mysterio hitting 619 on I think it was JD and Finn. You got the brood kick and then the AA, and that ended the match there. Great moment for John Cena. Great ending for him on his Monday Night Raw last show, and then we'll see him at Survivor Series when he fights Dom. Now, when we left and they went to commercial break, they went over to the Judgment Day and showed the Judgment Day, because obviously they're in New York. Scatterboo, his ankle was just broken, but the whole Giants team was there. Everybody loves Scat. I love Scat, by the way. Arizona State alumni for the Giants. Now he plays for the Giants, and he got a big pop there. Pushing JD McDonough. Scat like he can wrestle. I'm not going to lie to you. Scat like he could be a wrestler. Scat could pretty much do anything, but good to see Scat doing that. That was a nice little segment there. But let's move on. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully Dom defeats him at SummerSlam. I thought John would have been in the War Games match because he's never been in one. But obviously they trying to get Dom over by, hey, yeah, you was I think you like 200 plus reigning champion, ended up losing his title to John Cena. Might as well get your title back against John Cena. John Cena's not going to leave the company with that title. So they just wanted to give him that moment to be the Grand Slam champion, unfortunately. Oh, not unfortunately, but fortunately. So let's move on to maybe something that seems like a lot of people are not caring about, which is Stephanie Valkyrie. Obviously, I still think if Naomi wasn't pregnant, she'll be the champion. But now Stephanie Valkyrie is the champion. she really didn't get a loud pop when she came in. Obviously, she didn't get to speak. She didn't get to do anything. She just got beat up by Nikki Bella, who obviously turned heel last week. And she ended up pretty much beating her up and saying, hey, I want a match. And now that match is set up, Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella. But it seems like no one really cares about the match. They kind of booed Nikki, but it was like, okay, like I said, it was a short segment, maybe like 3 to 5 minutes, and it was like, So that's why we go back to my score, 8 out of 10. They really didn't give us nothing but just Nikki beating her up. Obviously, when they do fight at Survivor Series, Stephanie's probably most likely going to win the match. But here, near, there, that's what is going to happen. Really didn't see anything else between these two. The build-up's not too crazy. Kind of seen that Nikki was going to eventually turn on Stephanie, and it did happen. So we'll see how it goes for next week, as obviously the match is next week on next Saturday. But we'll see how that goes. But it seems like no one really cares about these two fighting, or just Nikki Bella, and I don't know if they can give Stephanie somebody else later on the line. Obviously, with the War Games, a lot of women are involved in this because they have a women's side. Well, we'll see. Then we go on to, we have a segment with Bayley and Lyra, who can kind of, maybe, I feel like they can kind of give that they could have had an opportunity to fight Stephanie, maybe later down the line. We'll just see. So they were fighting for the IC title, which we'll talk about later on. But Asuka asked Bayley, and she said, hey, can you forgive me for what I've done? Can you get back in with us? And, bygones be bygones. We just want to have an opportunity to win this. We need another person, and hey, why not? Because we used to be a group. Might as well try it. And Bayley denied it, and Bayley doesn't want to do it, and they still having this thing with Lyra and Bayley, but Bayley still has this multiple personalities still kicking in, so that's still kind of a standstill with Bayley and Lyra. They can be doing something else with those two. Maybe this is an opening for these two, which is Bayley and Lyra, to go after the tag team titles, because again, Kairi and Asuka are the tag team champions. So maybe that is an opening for that, but we shall see how that goes. But okay segment. So then we get to something that I was hoping for years, okay? Hoping for years, because I felt like they did this brother wrong when it comes to releasing him. Obviously, he's been doing phenomenal since he left the WWE. Obviously, they did it for the moment. If you check back on Friday Night SmackDown, Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, showed up for SmackDown, and he ended up facing LA Knight. He ended up losing for the last time is now tournament. Today we see Dolph Ziggler as the person that ended up being entered in this tournament versus Solo. A lot of people probably thought Chris Jericho, Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry's in NXT. Okay, that was Joe Hendry's in NXT, but they thought Chris Jericho, Joe Hendry, maybe Trick Williams. No one thought about Dolph Ziggler, and he came out as Dolph Ziggler. So that was the other thing that I liked. He came out as Dolph Ziggler, his music, because when Zack Ryder came out, they didn't kind of give him his music. But it's good to see that Dolph Ziggler was back. But the only issue I had with this is two issues I have with this tournament. Okay, the only thing I have a problem with these tournaments. Number one, you're bringing back people that obviously TNA have a partnership with, okay, with WWE, okay? Dolph Ziggler has something with John Cena. Obviously, Solo does too. Matt Cardona does. LA Knight doesn't. But LA Knight, I guess they just need something for LA Knight because he's not going to win championships. They need something with him, right? So, Dolph Ziggler should have won tonight, because now it seems like, obviously that's what WWE does, but it seems like they just do it for moments. It would have been it's obviously a great moment to see Dolph Ziggler back in WWE. But it's like, yeah, we just brought you back just because we were in New York. We saw that House of Glory was in New York. We knew you was in New York. Would you like to get this check, this nice check? You get this nice pop. Everybody gets to see Dolph Ziggler's doing fine without WWE. He's the wanted man in TNA, Nick Nemeth. He's won multiple championships. He's still doing fine. I think they should have let him win because now it seems like then the tournament seems a little bit more interesting. And that's what I wish would have happened. Dolph would have won, and that would have gave a little bit of difference in the tournament. My second issue with this tournament is where's the bracket? That kind of coincides with what I'm talking about. It seems like they just threw these. They had a great idea. I didn't think the idea was I obviously think that it's somebody that's going to be the winner for this tournament and somebody that I've been saying should fight John Cena, and I'm going to say it again when we get there. Now it's another person that might end up fighting John Cena, but we're going to get there. But the tournament is like, okay, we're doing it for the pops, pretty much. Okay, we get other people. Obviously, John Cena's a part of this this baby that he created as well. But I'm not blaming nobody. It's just like they could have done it better, and it's obvious that you're bringing somebody back that's not with the company, so you're gonna make sure they lose. But Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler should have won that match. That's just me. I have nothing against Solo. I like Solo, but Dolph Ziggler should have won that match. I think it would have been better. And then again, where's the bracket? We just throwing people in these matches, and we don't even know who's fighting who next. We just saying, hey, here's the matches, and then this is the first round, and then it's like, okay, who's fighting who next? When is the first round over? Like, we got LA Knight, Jey Uso, Gunther, Sheamus, Rusev, and it's somebody else, and I'm like, where's the bracket? Who's fighting who next? And so that's my own issue. Where's the bracket? And when you bring these other people in from the outside, I wish they would have just did a little bit better. But and I think the Miz should have beat Jey Uso too. But it's Jey Uso. He's part of the machine, so that happens. But that's gonna be it right there for that segment or for that match right there. Great to see Dolph Ziggler, like I said, but it should have been a little bit longer. I think Dolph Ziggler should have been here. Should have won this match and then moved on to the next round, whenever the next round is, because they don't have a bracket. But then we have Alexa Bliss come out. I missed the part where she talked. I don't know what she did right there. I just caught it when Nia Jax and them came out. I don't want to be fake. I want to be really honest with you. I do have 2 kids. I have a wife, so things happen. I got to go out this room, and then things happen. So I came in, called Nia Jax, the bougie bully, Asuka and Kyrie coming to the ring, and then they was about to jump her. Obviously, was it? Oh yeah, Io and Rhea show up, and then they all getting beat up, and then pretty much towards the end, Charlotte comes out with the kendo stick, and we kind of see that Charlotte's gonna most likely team up with this. The only issue I have with Friday Night SmackDown is that Charlotte told Rhea that she's a snake. Okay, so I understand that she doesn't like Rhea. That's totally understandable if you don't like Rhea. Obviously, because y'all fought each other, y'all are rivals. But a snake, to me, look, I'm not from the deepest of the hoods, but I'm from the hood, okay? I'm from the streets. If somebody tells you a snake, that ain't nothing to take lightly, bro. What you trying to tell you I'm untrustworthy? You trying to say that I would do something to harm you? I would do something to make, what I'm saying, like benefit myself by doing something to you. Like, that ain't what Rhea has shown. Now, if Charlotte would have said, "Hey, I don't want to be in the ring. I don't want to be in the same team on the same team with you because, we've had this rivalry, and I don't. Last time we fought, you beat me. I can't hold that on me. I can't have it in my heart to fight to beat on the team with you." Now, she would have said something like that. I would have been like, all right. But the snake part is like a little questionable. But she shows up tonight with a kendo stick to help her friend Alexa Bliss. Most likely, they're going to end up being on the team, because that's why I was saying it don't make sense, because you can't call nobody a snake and then still be on the same team together in the next 2 weeks. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't make sense to me. If I call you a snake and then 2 weeks later we're on the same team, or we working together. But you know, like what? I don't forget that. So, but it's WWE logic. But there it is right there. Charlotte helps out Alexa Bliss and the team, but it seemed like it was kind of just like they kind of just threw that segment together. Like, what did we accomplish? That's what I was looking when I was watching. What did we accomplish? What is the story here? This is the story that maybe Charlotte's leaning on towards helping them. It kind of didn't really give me nothing but just Charlotte helping Alexa. That's it. But we shall see how they go on moving forward, and we'll pretty much talk about like this was. I think this was talked about in October who was gonna fight each other. So obviously we kind of already know, and I think that's the issue as well. Watching WWE, it's a lot of people talking about WWE, like reporters and rumors, and when you watch the show, it's like, okay, nothing surprising. I kind of know what's going on unless it's a match. A match can be surprising, but the segments and how they set up the matches are not surprising, and that's kind of why my score will never really be up to a 10 because I'll be already knowing what's about to happen because they just throw out so many people throwing out hints and rumors and what could possibly happen and people dropping videos and anything like that. So that's why I kind of like AEW when I watch it because I don't really know what's going to happen because we don't have those dirt sheets like that. But let's move on to Maxxine Dupree and Becky Lynch. Maxxine Dupree, third time fighting Becky Lynch. Maxxine Dupree is somebody that I've always enjoyed. Now she's coming from where it was the models and Max Dupree, which is LA Knight, and she has finally found a way to. The progression is there, right? She has found a way to become very relevant in the WWE and coming to wrestling. I've always liked Maxxine. Obviously, Maxxine is a good-looking woman, but it's not always about this. It's about what kind of work ethic is she putting in. You can obviously tell she's been putting that work in. She's been with Natalya this whole time, putting the work in. Because you don't even see Natalya on the screen. What you do know is that Maxxine has been in that dungeon and she's been putting in that work. So you can appreciate that. And it's a third-time fighter, and we kind of figured that this was going to happen. I did. I mean, again, I kind of just know WWE logic, but I kind of knew this was going to happen. Another good match. Obviously, Becky and the referee, Jessica Carr, going at it again. By the way, if you didn't know, Jessica Carr wrestles in Evolve, so if you didn't know that. But there's that with that, and AJ Lee shows up, and Maxxine Dupree beats Becky Lynch, and she is now the new IC champion. I kind of didn't like the way she won. It was a crossbody, but it's kind of like the element of surprise for Becky. Maybe if she would have hit a crossbody and then maybe hit her finisher. But I kind of get what they're doing, which is the element of surprise. You just never know. Oh, like who's that coming? And then you turn around and then boom, and it's like, you're just so shocked. So, like I said, happy for Maxxine Dupree. Love Maxxine Dupree development, her growth, her progression, and now she's the IC champion. Now we're gonna see what they do with it because the story was there when it come for her to chase the title. The question is, how do you continue the story for her to keep the title, for people to be interested in it? Because as you can see, this mid-card championships, besides the IC title, because when Lyra was the champion until Becky showed up, it meant some. Also Bayley, when Becky took it, it meant something. And then obviously now Maxxine we'll see if it means something. The U.S. Championship now is with Chelsea Green. It hasn't meant anything since Chelsea Green won it the first time, so we shall see how that goes. And then we had a segment going back with Maxxine and AJ Lee in the back. And Maxxine was, congratulated by Jackie Redmond, and then she got, the celebration with Otis and Tozawa as they walked off. Miss Redmond asked AJ Lee, is she gonna stick around? Because obviously we haven't seen AJ since WrestlePalooza, and then she said, "Yeah, I'll stick around," because Becky kind of gives her that itch to come around. And then Rhea shows up and asks AJ Lee, "Can you do you have an opportunity to talk?" So obviously we kind of know what's going to go on with that. Pretty much what happened in October was that AJ Lee, Rhea, Io, who's the other two people? Oh, Charlotte and Alexa are gonna team up against Bougie Bully, which is Lash Legend, Nia Jax, the Kabuki Warriors, and Becky Lynch. This was reported in October, and now everybody was like, well, "What?" And now we see it. Not a big story. Obviously, it's stories within these teams, but not a big story when it comes to just these teams fighting. But we'll see how that goes for War Games, and we'll see how that goes. And most likely, we'll see those two women accept. Becky will accept, and AJ Lee will probably accept next Monday. So we'll see how that goes. So we go on to Gunther versus Javon Evans, a returning Gunther, by the way. I new music. Got a little bit of a pop for Gunther. Javon Evans. If you haven't watched Javon Evans, if that was your first time watching Javon Evans, go back and watch some more. I mean, Jay Malachi. If he's from North Carolina. He's been wrestling in the Indies. He's been doing this for a while. He's only 21, by the way, but he's been doing this for a while. Javon Evans showed he can be a star in the WWE. He's already a star in NXT. I'm talking about in the WWE. Javon Evans can be one of those people where you can send him wherever, and people are going to flock. People are going to pay tickets to see him. He's an attraction. The question is WWE going to do right by Javon Evans? Because this is something that they don't do when it comes to guys of my skin color. Okay, yeah, I'm going there. I just want to be honest with you. This is something that they don't do lately, as of late. We've had guys like Swerve Strickland, who was there, left. Bobby Lashley, who was one of those ones, and he left. And MVP didn't like it, and we've seen the domination of Mark Henry. We see who can be showing up you see how they're doing in a New Day. You see how they've done the Street Profits. You see what is coming up from the NXT branch. When you're talking about Javon Evans, Trick Williams, you see how they're doing Carmelo Hayes. Trick Williams and Obafemi. Those are the three guys they cannot mess up. And the fact that Javon Evans had Gunther, now again, Gunther had some ring rust, okay? Gunther had some ring rust, you can tell. But the fact that Javon Evans carried that match and it looked clean and it looked good, and he gave Gunther a fight. It wasn't like it was all just a trickeration and all this other stuff. No, he gave him a fight to the end. Now, it gave us like 3 commercial breaks, so we didn't get to watch the whole match. Maybe two or three commercial breaks. But Javon Evans is a superstar. The question is WWE going to jump on this guy and say, you know what, we're going to give you the machine like we're giving Jey Uso the machine? Because if they give him the machine like they're giving Jey Uso, Javon Evans will be huge. I'm telling you right now. Javon Evans will be that superstar that people are asking WWE to have. But that's just me. But great match. Gunther came out there and did what he did, which is finished off with like he normally does. He always sells well. He always gives out good matches. And Javon Evans, he just does what Javon Evans does. He can fly. He can do it all in the ring. So a great match, best match of the night besides Maxxine and Becky Lynch. And that's the person that I think is going to actually beat everybody and get to the tournament is Gunther. I've already said Gunther should fight John Cena and retire him because he retired Goldberg, and he should retire John Cena. Is going to move him on to 2026 in a real high level. And Gunther, the sky's the limit for Gunther if he does that. Because Gunther is probably going to start tearing up the house if he starts doing stuff like that. And if Gunther he's going to be super arrogant if he finds a way to beat retire Goldberg and retire John Cena, I don't know what you're gonna be able to do with Gunther in 2026. But that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And then we move on to the main event segment, which is the War Games match. Now, obviously, I have an issue with the War Games, the men's War Games match. Okay, the only problem I have with games, I'm a wrestling fan. Okay, I watched Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts had a story to it on women and men. This doesn't have a story. This is pretty much, hey, we're gonna put out our best guys that we believe in, and we're gonna have them all go against each other in the War Games match. That's pretty much it. There is no story in this at all. WWE told me they go off storytelling first, but there is no story in this men's War Games match. Okay? Look, Seth Rollins got hurt. I guess everything just kind of got thrown out the trash. Okay? Everything thrown in the trash. We're just going to throw people in this match. But the reason why I say there's no story. Okay, yes, Roman Reigns got defeated by Bronson Reed. They've been fighting back and forth. The Usos and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, yes, they've been fighting. CM Punk's the champion, but who did he beat? Who he's been trying to go after? He beat Jey Uso, who's on the same team with him. Who is he being going after? Seth Rollins. He's not there. He hasn't been fighting Braun Breaker. He hasn't been fighting Bronson Reed. LA Knight's not a part of this, but he's the main cog in this, but he's not fighting in this. Then you add Logan Paul. What does Logan Paul have to do with any of these people? I don't know. Just throw him in there. Okay, we'll throw Cody Rhodes in there. What does Cody Rhodes have to do with anybody in this match? No, we don't have anything to do with it. Then we throw a random championship match with Bronson Reed and Cody, and it's like, why did we do that? There was no build up to that. We just gonna throw it in to add more stuff to this to make sure, hey, we suspended Drew McIntyre, but we're gonna put him back in the match. So what you say when you suspend someone doesn't matter. Okay, so with that happening, excuse me, Lakeland, close the door. Close the door for me, please. Close the door. I told you when I come out, I'll help you. Close the door. Thank you. I'm almost done. Thank you. Thank you. So now, Drew McIntyre is added to the match. No story. You're just in there now because you don't like Cody Rhodes, I'm assuming, but there's no reasoning for him to be here. They didn't say anything. All right. So we go on tonight. And they just started fighting, which is cool. It's War Games. It's full school. We kind of already knew what was going to happen. Brock Lesnar shows up. Why? Where's the story? The last time we seen him, he fought John Cena. He just shows up because I guess he's a Paul Heyman guy. Where's the story? Roman Reigns told us he didn't want to see the Usos again to win Christmas. It is not Christmas yet, sir. It's not even Thanksgiving. Why are you? Hey, look, I love Roman Reigns. I'm just trying to get you to understand. Why are you here? Why did you show up? Who called you? Who told you? Hey, bro, we need your help. Where's the story? That's all I'm trying to get y'all to understand. There is no story to this. This is, hey, we're going to pick 10 guys that we feel like we should just throw in the match. No story at all. These 10 guys are going to just tear each other up. And that's it. Now, that's cool. I have no issue with it, but I'm going off what you're telling me. Storytelling comes first. It ain't been happening lately. But in some things it does, and some things it doesn't. Consistency is what we ask for as wrestling fans. But that is what happened. A lot of carnage out there. They had NYPD out there. Roman Reigns spearing Bronson Reed. Kendo sticks from CM Punk. Brock Lesnar getting bullied by Roman Reigns. A lot of things happening. Obviously, next Saturday, it's probably going to be a good match. It probably won't be blood and guts, but it's going to be a good match because these are good workers. All right, I'm going to be honest with you. These are good work. Brock Lesnar. Besides all that, the personal stuff, when I'm talking about the wrestling, obviously, I don't condone any of the stuff he's doing, but the wrestling, Brock Lesnar is a dog. Bronson Reed, dog. Braun Breaker, dog. Logan Paul, he's got a nice moveset. Drew McIntyre, dog, if it's not for a championship. Roman Reigns, dog. CM Punk, dog. Cody Rhodes, nice moveset. Jimmy Uso, he could be a dog. Jey Uso, when at times can be a dog. It's same thing. It's a good match. It's gonna be a good match. I have no issue with it. The only thing I have an issue with is no storytelling. That's what you're going. That's what I go off of because that's what you told me. That's what you're gonna do. I have to be on your ass about that. But that was Monday Night Raw. Again, I give it an 8 out of 10. Most likely I give it an 8 because I kind of already knew it was gonna happen. It's good to see it. Pretty good show. Monday Night Raw always is consistent with their show. SmackDown still need help. NXT is up and down. But that will be everything for John Cena's last Monday Night Raw. Appreciate all the love and support. Appreciate the people that came in. If you're watching this after and if you watched the whole thing, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you're not new, make sure you comment and like the video, man. Definitely appreciate that. And until next time, we'll see you. Check me out on my shorts. Check me out on my reactions as well to my other videos. And until next time, man, God bless. All glory to God. I forgot to say that on the first. I don't know why I didn't say that on the first. I was ready to jump right in there. All glory to God, man. Yes, sir.